first-round post-game press conference featuring Colorado head coach J.R. Payne, as well as student-athletes Aaronette Von Lay and Kendall Wetta. For those seeking additional interviews, the Buffaloes locker room is open at this time. As a courtesy to your fellow media members, please silence your cell phones and smartwatches. For those asking questions, raise your hand and identify yourself and your affiliation. For those joining us on Zoom, please use the raise hand function, and we will get to your questions after all in-person questions have been answered. As a reminder, recording press conferences on cell phones or cameras in here is prohibited. Hammond Communications will post a recording of this presser in the NCAA Digital Hub located at ncaa.veritone.com. Transcripts are also provided by ASAP and will be posted shortly. We will begin the press conference with an opening statement from Coach Payne, followed by questions for the student-athletes. After those questions, the student-athletes will be dismissed, and we'll take questions from Coach. Coach Payne, your opening statement.
Okay, just really proud, really proud of how we played tonight. I thought we had a great sort of week and a half of practice and preparation. Drake is such a good and such a different team. I was very nervous about this game. Not that I didn't think we were capable, it's just such a different style. We have not played a team like Drake all year. So I'm really proud of how our team prepared. It's hard to prepare for a team you've never seen before. And so I thought that was great, executing the game plan really, really well. Like when I look at a couple things we talked about, you know, really trying to be aggressive inside, really trying to do a great job on the glass because they're such a good rebounding team. We did a really good job, you know, in those two areas, and those were huge priorities for us. So great team effort. These two were exceptional, and just overall great team win today.
Thank you, Coach. We open it up to questions for the student-athletes. We'll start here on the front row left.
JR, Troy Finnegan, CU Sports Report. It wasn't the start.
We're going to start with the student-athletes first, please.
Oh, yeah. These guys first,
Yep.
Then they leave and I go.
Yep.
Okay.
Kendall, career high for you. And you hit back-to-back threes in the fourth quarter. Just how good did it feel for you to have such a big game on the offensive end?
I mean, I just go out there and do what I'm supposed to do, and when I'm open, I shoot. So I didn't even realize that happened, but yeah, just doing what I can.
Go right here. Stay on the left.
Aaronette, the battle between you and Miller was kind of a key coming in tonight, and you had a huge game and really limited her. How much of a focal point was that for you, and just can you talk about that matchup tonight?
Honestly, sometimes it's harder to go against undersized post players or just like less, big post players. So, they can easily draw charges and stuff, but I just was focused on limiting her touches to avoid getting in foul trouble, and then just being aggressive on offense to take advantage of that mismatch.
Go front row right.
Luke Zollman, Denver Gazette. Aaronette, Kendall, I mean, what is this experience like coming in as a team that's one of the favorites in the tournament, that has a little bit of winning history in this tournament? What's the difference coming into this one versus maybe going into last year's?
I don't know if there's much of a difference. I think we just kind of have an expectation for ourselves to perform, and we know we're a good team and we can come out and compete with just about anybody. And so I guess just confidence maybe.
Yeah, I'd say the one difference is just we know we're so capable of so much more than what we did last year. So I think we're just even hungrier to make it past the Sweet 16 and just keep advancing.
Go third row on the right.
Hey guys, Richard Casalino, CBS Sports Colorado. Aaronette, when the game plan is centered around kind of getting the ball inside, then you start having results really quickly in the game. Does it give you confidence as you go forward that, okay, I'm putting up numbers today?
Yeah, I'd say early in the game I was missing just a lot of easy buckets. So when I was able to get going, I think it gave me confidence. It gave my teammates confidence because when the ball goes inside, it opens things up on the outside as well. So, yeah, it definitely gives confidence to me and my teammates.
Front row left.
Kendall, I know you guys weren't worried falling down 9-0 early, but what would you attribute that slow start to, and what kind of got you guys rolling?
I mean, we've had a few games this year where we have started slow, and so it's not really anything new. It's obviously not ideal, but we're comfortable in that spot, just knowing that just because we're down early doesn't mean that we can't come back.
Second row in the middle.
Patrick Dawson, Scobo Sports. Yeah, for both you players, first half was pretty close both ways. Obviously, like Brian said, you guys had to claw back from an early lead, or deficit, excuse me. But the third quarter, things kind of blew up wide open. What went into that explosion in the third quarter for you guys?
Start with Kendall here.
I think we were confident in what we knew was working. Like, we knew that getting the ball into Nettie was working. And so prioritizing moving, defense, all the above. We had lots of people out with 2 fouls in the first half. And so going into the third quarter, we were fresh and ready to turn up the defensive energy.
Aaronette?
Yeah, I'd agree. I think just being able to adjust and see what was working for us and what wasn't, and just focusing on the things that were working is what just gave us confidence to keep the lead and build off of it.
Front row left.
For both of you, is there any sort of sigh of relief getting the first one out of the way? And all right, now we're on to the second round, and you got your tournament legs under you a little bit?
Start with Arnett.
I'd say, yeah, it's nice to get the first one out of the way, but I wouldn't say a sigh of relief. I mean, we still have another game to take care of, and that one is even more important just because we want to get back to the Sweet 16 and go further than we did last year, so we're just focused on the next opponent.
Kendall.
I felt like we had a great game, and so just going into the next game, taking this momentum into that game.
Any further questions for the student athletes? All right, thank you, ladies.
Awesome.
Congrats on the
Thank you.
victory.
Thanks.
Now you can ask me about the slow start.
Yeah, we'll open it up for questions for Coach now. We'll
Go
start.
ahead, Troy. Let's have it.
Let's start with
I'm
the
just
second row.
teasing. I'm
Second
just
row
teasing.
on the left, and then we'll get to Troy.
Coach David Smale from the Associated Press. A couple questions for you. First, you said Drake was different than somebody you'd played all year. How is that? How are they different?
The motion that they run with the 5-out system, constant cutting, 5 players on the floor at all times that can shoot the ball. Just the pace at which they play. We have some fast teams, we have some athletic teams, but no one that runs that 5-out continuous cutting, moving, shooting, that's something that's different for us.
Talked about the rebounding advantage, 39-18. Were you expecting it to be that big? Because you guys are much bigger than Drake is.
I was not. I wanted it to be that big. We talked about it. I mean, we were repping box outs and warm-ups. That's how focused we were on rebounding. We don't usually do that. But just they're incredible on the offensive glass. They shoot so many threes that sometimes those are long rebounds. We felt like, we can guard, but we've got to be able to finish plays. And then also we felt like we could offensively crash. We felt like that was going to be an important factor for us. Almost felt like our size could be an advantage on the offensive end more than the defensive end on the glass.
And then finally, your thoughts about K-State tomorrow or Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny. We recruited 2 of their best players, and so I know them pretty well. But great team, obviously very well coached, had a lot of success this year. They're very healthy and playing really well.
All right, we'll go front row, middle.
I think you called the timeout at 11-3, and then you guys came out and scored 10 in a row right away. What were the magic words that they needed?
I wish I knew so I could replicate it if we're ever in that situation. No, I think it was really more just to everybody take a deep breath, calm down, let's execute, let's talk defensively, just basic stuff. It's never anything. I'm not the most magical, speaker. We usually just keep it pretty simple.
And then it looked like it took you guys a bit to adjust to the tempo, which you said. In the second half, you guys were great defensively. I think they started 1 for 7 in the second half. Yeah. What kind of tweaks did you guys make at halftime to kind of counter their attack?
I thought our communication was better in the second half. We talked about that a lot. There were several possessions in the first half. Maybe just a guard screen that we could have switched. Maybe we called it, but the other person didn't hear it, so somebody's wide open under the basket. So we really just prioritized our communication, playing underneath our player. And the team just did a really, really great job second half.
Go to the front row right.
Luke Zolman, Denver Gazette. Coach, when you say you haven't faced a team and you have to prepare for them in practice, what does that look like when you have to prepare for something you haven't before? I mean, does practice change? What changes when you are facing a new test like that?
Yeah, well, because it's kind of hard for us to replicate it because we don't run anything like that. And, back home we had practice players and sort of scout team that was trying, but even they don't know how to do that. So I thought our defensive coach, Coach T, did a great job of breaking down actions rather than trying to have 5 players run a system that we can go against that we don't know how to run. Broke down like parts of their offense, so certain types of screens, certain types of cuts, and we repped that out all week long. So at times we really executed the defensive plan well, especially second half.
Go third row on the left.
Yeah, Arnie Green from Topeka Capital Journal. Aaron, I'd only played 24 minutes. Was that, with the big lead, was that kind of by design to try to save her a little bit for
Sunday, yeah, definitely. Anytime, that we can rest, we try to. But certainly I knew that Drake was very capable of hitting back-to-back-to-back triples and could have been right back in it again. So we were not going to rest, more than one or two if we could.
Front row left.
Sticking with Aronette, only 8 of 17 shooting, but she had 6 offensive rebounds. And I thought a key tonight was her sticking with it, and staying aggressive there.
Yeah.
How important was that in that matchup? Was that something you guys talked about, that Miller's going to alter your shot a little bit? You've got to kind of stick with it?
We actually did not talk about that. We saw the film that she's very long, contests really high, and things like that. But I was really, of all the points and the that we did today, I was really proud of Aronette's offensive rebounding. Because she missed the first one, it's hard to score over a 6'5" wingspan, but to stay with it and be able to go right back up with it was really, really crucial for us.
And then just to follow up real quick, what was your take on Kendall's game? We don't see that offensive explosion out of her very often, but you kind of needed it a little bit because they were limiting Frida so much.
Yeah, so proud of the whole team, of course, but so unbelievably proud of Kendall for her aggressiveness, the way she caught and shot without thinking about it. Her defense is always incredible. I've said to many that I think she's one of the best defensive players I've ever coached. But to see her that aggressive and confident offensively was brilliant.
Second row middle.
Coach, you spoke about how you've been preparing for a team you've never seen before. Now, quick turnaround. You've got one day to prepare for your next opponent. What goes into tomorrow for you guys?
Lots of film, lots of rest tonight for the girls. Our team, this is a Pac-12 schedule we're playing this weekend, Friday, Sunday. And so we're used to this sort of the rhythm of it. And so I think our team will do a great job of resting. Tomorrow morning we wake up, the scout's already done, but start teaching our team the scout, what's important, what does it look like, what does it feel like, and just get ready for a really tough game.
Any further questions for Coach? All right, thank you, Coach.
All right,
Congrats
thanks,
on the
you
victory.
guys. Appreciate it.